The children began speaking at the same time. Different cities, different countries, different languages, but the same stories. At first, parents laughed it off. Kids say strange things, imaginary friends, made-up worlds, dreams that blur into waking thoughts. Except these children weren't dreaming. They were remembering. The first reports. Dr. Naomi Keller specialized in childhood cognition and memory development. Her work focused on false recall, how the brain could invent entire experiences that felt real. She was reviewing a case file when she noticed a recurring phrase in interview transcripts from around the world. That already happened. You just don't remember yet. A 6-year-old in Toronto said it calmly to his teacher. A girl in Mumbai cried when she heard the news, insisting, "That's not how it's supposed to end." In Berlin, a boy refused to leave his house on a specific date, claiming the bridge nearby would collapse. It didn't, but the blueprints for repairs already existed. The future they described. Naomi began compiling the accounts. The children described a future about 20 years ahead. Cities altered, coastlines reshaped, familiar landmarks gone, not destroyed, but never built. They spoke of technologies that no longer existed, political movements that never formed, songs that adults had never heard but which, when searched, matched half-written drafts buried in forgotten hard drives. Most disturbing were the personal details. Children pointed at adults and said things like, "You used to be nicer. You died earlier the first time. You didn't forgive her before the reset." Reset. That word appeared again and again. The memory transfer. Then something changed. Adults began remembering things they shouldn't. A woman suddenly recalled evacuating a city that still stood untouched. A man woke in tears, grieving a child he never had. Old photos surfaced clearly aged, showing events that official history denied. Governments quietly removed them. But the children noticed. "They're fixing it again," one girl whispered during an interview. "They're smoothing it out." The child who knew too much. Naomi finally met Noah. He was 8 years old. He spoke carefully, as if choosing each word mattered. "You weren't supposed to study us," Noah said. Naomi froze. "Why not?" "Because you're not from the fixed version," he replied. "You're from the earlier one." He explained it simply. Humanity had reached a future where certain outcomes could no longer be avoided. Environmental collapse, social fracture, a cascade of irreversible failures. So something intervened. Not a machine, not a government, something built into reality itself. Time corrected, but memory didn't reset cleanly. Children whose brains were still forming retained fragments. The evidence left behind, Naomi accessed restricted archives. Buried beneath layers of redaction were contingency plans labeled temporal stabilization events. No explanation. No authors. Only one repeated note. Residual consciousness transfer expected in developing minds. The future hadn't been erased entirely. It had been abandoned. The cost of correction. As weeks passed, the children began forgetting. Slowly, painfully, they cried over losses they could no longer explain. They mourned friendships that had never existed. Meanwhile, adults remembered more. But without context, the memories manifested as anxiety, dread, and grief, with no source. Therapists called it mass psychological distress. The children called it leakage. "You're not supposed to remember," Noah told Naomi quietly. "If you do, it means it's happening again." The warning. Before his memories faded completely, Noah left Naomi with one final message. "They didn't fix everything," he said. "They just bought time." "What happens next?" Naomi asked. Noah thought hard. then shrugged. That depends on whether you make the same choices. The next day, Noah didn't remember her, but Naomi did. And so did thousands of adults around the world, suddenly aware of a future that felt wrong and frighteningly close. End of story.